My name's Tom Webb, welcome to Dialed In. In this episode of Dialed In, we're going to be going around the preparation of how I make my work overnighters as successful as I can. Luckily for me, I've got a couple of fish in the bag, one just before first light and then one sort of as Lee rocked up. We'll finish this cup of tea and then we'll go and take a look at these couple of fish we've caught. This is the second bite of the morning. This one they call a seahorse, probably 15, 16 pound, but luckily for me, it's one slightly bigger in the sling over there. So this one's just over 28 pound. This was the second one of this morning's little bit of action. Hopefully there's more to come. My sessions usually consist of arriving to the lake at 6 o'clock. The joys of work overnighters. Literally just got rods out, down the rain. Not what I wanted. And I'm usually gone by the next day at 7 AM in the morning. There's a few different things that I do in between those trips, just to make them as successful as I can while I'm actually on the bank. There's a few things I do in between trips to maximise the time while I'm on the bank. One of those consists of walking around the lake to try and find the area where the fish are happy to spend the evening times and night times. Once I've located those areas, it's then going about trying to find a spot, and then I start the application of putting bait out. I look to bait 2-3 times a week. When I know I've got a session coming up, I come down the day before and put out around 5 kilo of mixed particles. More often than not, on my walks around, there's evidence that the fish have been on my pre-baited spots by fizzing and giving their presence away. This gives me confidence that I'm happy to apply more bait to that area. The main bulk of my pre-bait is a small seed mix. It's cheap, it's cheerful, and it keeps them grubbing around in the area for longer. When it gets closer to my sessions, I then start to add a bigger food items to match what I'm fishing on the hook. Let's take this campaign for example. I've been fishing Lodge Lake Syndicate in Berkshire since August. We're now coming into October. I've got down a couple of days before leave is due, and I just ticked off my main target on Friday night, which was a half and a half at 36.5 pounds. If anyone says quick overnighters don't pay off, then this is proof. 36.5 pounds for Lodge Lake's finest. Fish known as half and half. Been carefully baiting a little area out, sort of just off middle. Try and pick them off as they come back and forward. Yeah, literally first bite. It's not even 10 o'clock at night. So yeah, absolute perfect start to my night. Let's get it back because I've already done a few pictures. So that's it. Thank you very much. That's off the back of doing 2 nights a week for the last 3 months. Keeping the bait going on to the spots has definitely paid off, because on the sessions leading up to this, I was averaging a couple of fish a night. Due to the nature of fishing that I do, I need to have faith in the end tackle. My rig of choice is a combi rig. This is tied to a size 4 grabber. These hooks are amazing. I didn't really have faith in a wide gape hook until I used a grabber. They just don't come off. Moving on to the hook length. My hook length is constructed of 25 pound fluoro wire stiff. This is joined to a short section of bareback uncoated braid. I fish this rig on a heli system. This is tied using our Anchor 45 pound lead core, and touch wood, so far this year I haven't dropped a fish. We've still got the rest of today and tonight, so I'm going to give it till about 3 o'clock and apply a bit more bait, so hopefully we've got a chance of a couple more. on the lake behind. A few fish just fizzing up, so we're going to take a couple of rods over, see if we can nick a quick bite. So just changing the hook bait over. So something that I've had a few out of there on, and we will see if we can get a bite. Gotta chase them, gets a bit stale sitting behind static rods. When I feel bite time's passed on the front lake, so we'll go to somewhere where they seem a little bit more active. On the front lake, I found that most of the bites seem to be sort of through the night or very first light, but on the back lake, they seem to sort of feed most of the time through the day. So while it's like that, I'm quite happy to kind of try and fish for them. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. I'll probably just flick a couple of little bags out there initially, see if the fish move or stay in place, and then we'll look at knocking up a bit of bait ready to put out later. Went out okay, I've sort of had a patch of fizz come up, so put a rod literally just behind it and then dropped it down just onto them. Drop was okay, but I'm going to leave it where it's at and then wait to see if we can get another patch of bubbles come up, and then we'll put the second one out. Get the bag on this one ready to go, so as soon as I start a patch of bubbles, I can get it out as quick as I can. That was a better drop. Landed a lot cleaner than what the right hand rod did. So my typical mix for prepping spots and what I'm fishing over. So that is basically just party blend. This is the one with the aniseed. I like this one because there's lots of small particles, and both these lakes here have got an abundance of crayfish. So the smaller particles help keep the crayfish a little bit more busy while they're on the spot, and then sort of keeps them away from my rigs, so they're fishing on the spot for a longer period of time and are effective when fish actually come in to want to feed. After I've sort of been prepping for a little while, I then started to introduce the boilies. These have got like a little bit of krill powder over them, just so it leaks off for a longer period of time when I'm basically baiting up and when I'm fishing, and that is the mix I've been using with great effect since August, and that's been working for me. Saturday morning, I didn't even have the rods out. I wound them in at 1:30, so I didn't want to kind of ruin it. And I was like, I've got to savour it because I sort of peaked too soon. So I was like, oh mate, that was just, yeah, you couldn't have odds it. First bite off the spot. It was a spot that when me and my boy come down and bait, he was like, Dad, I want to fish this side. Sort of snuck a rod over there. But yeah, to catch that the first night, and then, but yeah, hopefully just hit repeat and see what we can do. All right, more bait. Give him a little bit more. mate.
Banger.
That is a banger. Look at that.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy. That's it. There you go, just over £25. Once again, taken on one of my little pre-baited areas. All that bait now, really starting to pay off. Just shows that that little bit of extra effort to get down, put the bait out, can really pay off. We've still got the best time of night to come. Still chance of one or two more, I think. Yeah, man. Stunning. There we have it. Second bite of the night. Just really shows now that coming down and putting the legwork in, baiting, walking, really pays dividends. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Dialed In. Catch you on the next one.